Hey y'all, welcome back to the kitchen. Hey, I've actually already started cooking. This is Sunday, so I have to split days up between laundry and doing things around the house and cooking. So, what I did for my husband, this is not a part of my meal, but I'm just letting you see. I roasted chicken for him because with our diets, my husband typically does low carb. So when he does that, I'll bake chicken for him and then he can have it with a salad, or if he wants a little piece of rice or, some veggies with it, then it's already ready and prepared. So then all I need to do is just cook whatever we're having together and then I can eat my veggies. So just a sneak peek, don't get used to this because, just letting you see. I've already started my dinner. So I roasted the chicken for him. So typically what I'll do is take a whole chicken, cut it in half, skin side down, add my seasonings, and then put it in the oven, okay? That's for him. So, like I said, don't get used to it, okay? Because, don't get used to it. But I'm just letting you see what I did for Sunday. And also, like in my previous video, just so you can see how if you still have a split household where some people eat meat, some don't, that's an option that you can do, okay? So, without further ado, I've already started my rice. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in my wonderful seasonings. So, onion powder, a little bit of complete, a little bit of salt, some thyme, and a little bit of butter. Now the complete seasoning, just in case you don't know, it's a whole seasoning. So it's not a lot of salt in it. So that's why I can get away with adding a little bit more salt to my rice. And I'm adding some pink sea salt. My grinder doesn't want to grind for me. Okay. Got a tip of butter in there, and since it's already boiling, I won't have a whole lot of cooking time on this rice. Get that nice in there. And add me a little bit of thyme. No hot pepper today because it's just plain rice. We want it flavorful, but we don't need any hot pepper today. Drop my thyme in there. I'm gonna give it a quick little stir and then we're gonna put the lid on there. Ooh-wee. If you haven't seen me cook rice before, this is jasmine rice. And typically once you get it to this stage, you can just let it cook on its own. You can turn it off, put it on low. Don't turn it off, put it on low. Put the lid on and it will take care of itself, okay? That's my rice. Now, if I'm doing rice and peas, of course, it's a little bit more intense than that, but that's typically what I do for my rice, okay? So what am I having for dinner? Well, this morning, I'll post a picture later on, but I had a taste for broccoli and cheese. So I just could not get that thought out of my head. So I made a broccoli and cheese omelet. It was so delicious, y'all. So what I decided to do for dinner was to take the rest of my broccoli, saute it with some tomatoes and onion, and that is going to be my meal with some green beans. And if I can squeeze it in, I'm gonna roast some potatoes, and that's where we're gonna have our joint together, and then he can have what I'm having, minus the broccoli, with his roasted chicken, okay? So what I'll do at the end is I'll take a picture of his food so you can get an idea for your spouse or whoever family member that still eats meat. And then, of course, I'll showcase my food because we're all about the veggies over here. So that's what we're doing, okay? All right, let's cut some onion, y'all. Cut up some beautiful onion because that's what we love to cook with. See if I can get y'all in good position here without knocking you over. Put the butter away. Grab my handy dandy knife, my favorite knife. First order of business is that we're gonna go ahead and cook up that broccoli. So what I did is that, what I did this morning is I took my broccoli and I chopped it. Really nice chop. And after I chopped it, I added some nice onion and some Roma tomatoes with it, and it was so delicious. The cheese I used was, of course, my vegan cheese, and it was absolutely delicious. So because I fell in love with the veggies cooked together before I added them into the omelet, I said I can have that for dinner, so that's what I'm doing. First order of business, I want to take the rest of that broccoli and go ahead and rinse it off. I have my green beans in here that I've already washed. So we're going to get them out of the way. Aren't they pretty? So we're going to give our broccoli a good little rinse. And how I like it is, it's already cut in florets, but what I like to do is cut off that bottom stem so it just falls apart. And then you can easily work with it. Now my broccoli was pre-washed, but you know, it went back in the fridge, so I just decided to go ahead and wash it in. That's just me being, you know, me. So first thing we're gonna do is cut up these lovely onions. And I didn't cut this any particular way. I just went down the side, rings, and then I cut them in half, kind of. So I didn't do any different types of chop with it or anything like that. Just cutting it up. And I'm gonna cut all of this because I want the rest of this for my green beans. So now once we get to the end of this thing, we're just gonna hack it off. All right. A little rough here, a little rough here. And this is what I meant, like no particular order, because the way this is gonna go on my plate, I really don't care. So it can be rough chop, soft chop, hot chop, it does not matter. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of grapeseed oil into this pan. Get that nice and hot. Okay. It was heated, but I just want to make sure it's nice and hot here. And while we're waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my Roma tomato. Now for this, I'm using one small Roma tomato, okay? I'm gonna give it a little quick rinse because I just had it sitting around in the refrigerator. And what I actually used was a 12-ounce bag of broccoli. I split it in half, so it's 6 ounces of broccoli and one small to medium Roma tomato. I feel the heat. I feel the heat. So we're gonna go ahead and drop that onion in there. Remember, I'm only using part of that because our other part is going with our green beans. Now these are getting a nice rough chop here. And I'll bring it over because I'm also going to go ahead and cut up that broccoli. You can see the technique on that, which is just cutting off the stem. Because once you eliminate the stem on the broccoli, it literally just falls apart. So if you're putting this in an omelet, all you have to do is just kind of chop through what was left over, and you can put the little bits of broccoli in your omelet. But because this is actually going for a meal, I just want the stem gone. That's it. So however it falls, that's just the way it falls. So the tomato, I just sliced it into different halves, and then I went ahead and just gave it a nice little rough chop. Try to separate this a little bit. Those onions smell so good, y'all. Okay. So next order of business, let's handle this broccoli. And I don't care about it being on top of the tomato because that's all going together. So just cutting off that bottom part, and it's just gonna fall apart. Yeah. I hear you, baby. Let me give you a quick stir. Oh, it smells good. All right, we're gonna get rid of that. See how it just falls apart? Nice and pretty, y'all. Oh my gosh. So delicious. Some of this is already falling apart from this morning when I cut a couple of pieces. But literally, just like that. It's like the stem is protecting this. And I remember when my youngest daughter was little, she's gonna get me for this for putting this on the video, but she would tell me she wouldn't eat trees. I would give her broccoli. So I would introduce the girls to different vegetables when they were little. And she told me she wasn't gonna eat no trees. I put some cheese on them trees and she ate them, okay? So tell mommy you're not gonna eat trees, but she ate those trees that day, okay? All right, not bothering with her today. All right, so here we go. We have our broccoli and our lovely Roma tomatoes. So we're gonna go ahead and add that in with the onions that are already sauteing and looking so good and smelling wonderful. So I'm gonna add that in. Almost dropped it, y'all. Remember, we're leaving our little onions over here. For our green bean. And remember now with the green bean, that's just for flavoring. It's not gonna be green beans or onions. It's just, I like that nice smoky onion taste with green beans. It just tastes so good. So, all right, guys. And this doesn't have to cook for long now. This is really, really quick. It's almost, you know, it's a stir fry in its own sense, you know. It's just one of those quick, nice veggie meals that you can have. And like I said, this morning I had it in my omelet because I couldn't get the broccoli and cheese taste out of my senses. So I decided to go ahead and, you know, do it for dinner too. And I told my husband when we was eating the omelet this morning, I said, this tastes like dinner. So I made his chicken, but this is my dinner. All right, so I have this now that the onions have sauteed, because we don't want this broccoli to be mushy. I turned it down to medium-low heat, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add some complete seasoning. You guys already know this. It's my arsenal. I have to have it. And a little bit of onion powder, okay? Now, what jazzed this up just a notch, I added some fennel seed to it. And with that fennel, of course, you all know what fennel seed, if you are a sausage lover, you know your sausage is not going to taste like sausage unless it has some fennel seed in it. That's what makes it taste that way. So I added a little bit of fennel into this. Just a couple of sprinkles. And I let that saute together. And I'm going to get some black pepper too because, you know, I can't have my meals without a little bit of black pepper. The peppercorns are really big in here, so I have to work with it. But, oh my gosh, y'all. This is one lovely, lovely dinner, y'all. Give you an aerial view of what's cooking. Ooh. All right. So now what we're going to do is put our lid on that. And then I am going to find my potatoes because, you know, typically I have those things washed and ready to go. But between doing laundry and all kinds of things, I had other stuff going on. So I'll be right back with my potatoes. Give me 1 second. Okay, y'all, I had to tidy up my cutting board. So I got my potatoes here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my onions so they can start sauteing for my green beans. That's what we really want around here. So I switched gears a little bit, but that's okay. We got it going. All right, so a little bit of grapeseed oil there. And then we're gonna let that pan heat up, which it is actually already hot. And I'm gonna go ahead and drop my onions in there. Now, to those wonderful green beans, we're gonna only add some sea salt and pepper, okay? So, to my onions, because I love the way they saute, we're gonna go ahead and add some of that in there right now. And then we're gonna drop the green beans in too. Just so you can see. All right. Now let's get those green beans. There you go. A little bit more sea salt. And a little bit of black pepper. Now, with green beans, we don't want these mushy either. So, they're on high heat right now. I'm going to turn them down just a little bit. Saute them just a little. And then I'm going to turn this on low. We're gonna leave them on low and let them cook for about 5 minutes. And then we're gonna actually turn them off because we don't want them to overcook and we don't want them undercooked, okay? Nice little toss. And check this out, guys. Ooh. See how bright green that broccoli turned? So now we have that where we can just turn it off as well too. I'm gonna leave it on for about 2 more minutes and then we'll turn it off. Okay, so my lovely potatoes, these are going in the air fryer. As you can see, dinner is just about done. We're just waiting on those green beans. Rice is gonna finish steaming and that's dinner. But the short time that it looks like to you, that chicken actually cooked for a couple of hours in the oven. Okay, so that's what we're doing. On to the potatoes. So I'm just gonna cut these in nice little wedges. Okay, no particular fancy, you know, doesn't have to be fancy. Just nice little wedges, because they're gonna be a side item to this meal tonight. And since it's getting to be a little late, I will have a kiddie plate because I actually will start my fasting around 6:30 and it's past that time, so we'll have us a little kiddie plate. But I will showcase whatever's on my plate so you can see what tonight's dinner looks like. Okay. All right, now one more to go. And listen, if there's leftover potatoes in here, trust, this will be part of breakfast in the morning. I love potatoes and eggs and toast. I used to love getting home fries first thing in the morning, home fries and grits. I know it's all carb, but you know, that's just, it made me feel good in the morning. All right, so our potatoes, there they are. We're gonna give them a quick little rinse. even though we had already washed them off. It's just that extra starchiness that comes with the potatoes after you cut them. I just don't want that in with my oil when I drop a little bit of grapeseed oil on top of here, and then we're gonna put them in the air fryer. So dinner's done, guys. Dinner is done. Okay, a little drizzle. All right, and we're gonna fancy these with, of course, a little bit of complete. Okay, and a little bit of onion powder, and a dash of black pepper. You know it. My hands are wet in a second. Cannot do that with wet hands. Wow, that's better. Got a grip now. Nice little black pepper. All right. We're gonna give this a little toss, and of course, you know I'm gonna have to wash my hands after this. OMG, guys. I'm just envisioning this plate. And guess what? This is so sad. I have avocado that's not going to make it on the plate tonight because they're not ripe. Oh, it's so sad. They're beautiful too. And I cannot have any. But let me tell you, if one is ready in the morning, it will be on my plate for breakfast. All right, so we have those nice and coated, my hands too, and we're gonna drop them right on here. Now, I always line my foil with, I always line my air fryer with foil. Because it's easy cleanup. It doesn't keep everything all, you know, gunky and stuff. So it's just easier for me. Okay, let me wash my jazz hands and then I'll be right back. All right. So these little puppies are gonna go in the air fryer. So I have a fry setting on my air fryer, and that's typically what I use for my potatoes. So it's already preset at 400 degrees and for 15 minutes. Now I might go an extra 5 minutes on there, but actually no, I think it's a little bit different. Hold on, let's see. It's 20 minutes, but it's still 400. So I just use the fry setting on mine, and I hit start. 20 minutes is typically good enough unless my husband wants them a little extra crispy, not crystallized, as he always calls things that are extra crispy burnt, which I don't serve him food like that. But if he wants a little extra, then I can accommodate him, okay? So that is dinner, y'all. Hey, when you see me again, I'll have the plate ready. But like I said, I'll pop a picture of his in there just so you can see what a split household looks like. And not split in a bad way. It's just if you have relatives that are still eating meat, you know, you want to accommodate everyone if you are the chef. Let him tell it. He's the head chef and I'm just the sous chef. But I don't see him in here slinging no pots. You know, I'm just saying. Anyway, so I'll show you what it's like. So, but yeah, you can accommodate your family. You know, we don't have to have a fight about dinner. Everything in here we're gonna share, except for that chicken. That's his. That's all by himself. He can do whatever he wants to do with it. But we are gonna share those green beans. We're gonna share that rice. He has gravy for his rice. I have a little bit of nice little gravy going on with my broccoli and my tomatoes and onions that are so delicious. And we're gonna share those potatoes. So just like that. And we would share avocado, but just not gonna happen tonight, y'all. It's just not. So I am gonna share with you guys a new fruit that I brought to the kitchen tomorrow morning, hopefully. I'm gonna cut it and I'll save some for my husband. I've been itching to try it, so we're gonna try it in the morning for breakfast. And I'm not telling you what it is. You just have to wait and see. All right, so anyway, have a wonderful Sunday evening. Hope you cook some dinner, and I hope it was delicious. But until next time, I'll send you a picture of this lovely dinner. But I can give you an area view real quick before we're done. We're not touching those potatoes because we really need them to cook, okay? So here we are, last view. Lovely. It smells so good, y'all. Goodness gracious. I think our rice is just about done. Woo. Yes, look at that. And then our lovely green beans, which are getting turned off now. Look at those. And this is your last view of this chicken, because like I said, don't get used to it because we don't do that around here. I do it for my husband, and typically it's on Sunday, but that is there. And like I said, all I did was just cut the chicken in half. This is an organic chicken. If I'm gonna cook it, I have to make sure it's the best of what I can get. You know, I still want my husband to eat good. Even if it is a little piece of chicken, I still want to make sure it's the best. Read the labels. That's all we can do. So anyway, won't beat that with a dead horse, but I just seasoned it with my favorite seasonings and skin side down, and it cooked for about 2.5 hours, literally slow cook while I was doing laundry and everything else. So that's it. And then you saw me do the potatoes. That's dinner. So have a good evening, and I'll catch you with these pictures here shortly, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.